Hi YouTube, welcome to another edition of Horror Hands, and for this video I'm going to go through all the Blu-rays and DVDs that I picked up in the month of April. So it's been a pretty decent month. I've got some nice special editions this month, so I'm going to get straight into it. So the first movie I got from Indicator is 10 Millington Place, and this is a dark movie. This stars Richard Attenborough, who plays a serial killer, but he's a very soft-spoken, mild-mannered little man who just happens to kill women. And it's just a very grim film, grim tone, grim locations, not a nice film, but excellently made movie. Fantastic. Richard Attenborough in this, performance-wise, is unrecognisable. He's really chilling as this serial killer who kind of manipulates his way around the system. And I believe that this was actually filmed in and around Millington Place, where the murders actually took place. It's based on a true story. The area itself is no longer there, but at the time they actually filmed it at the location, which makes it even more creepy. But fantastic film, quite disturbing, like I say, very chilling movie, but really excellent made movie. Next up, I got the really nice Arrow set of Beyond the Door. Fantastic set, like I say, from Arrow. In my opinion, one of the best sets they've put out. The movie itself, I've heard that this movie was weird. But it really is a strange film. It has some real strange characters in it who, just the way they talk, the conversations they have are just so kind of strange and don't make a lot of sense. The children in this film as well have sort of like a real ugly kind of character arc. None of them kind of seemed very genuine or anything like that. And the movie itself does have some creepy moments, I'll give it its props, but the whole film is just so inherently strange that the actual creepy parts just kind of plateau along with the general weirdness. So the movie I thought was okay, but definitely a wonderful set from Arrow. Recommend picking this up if it's not gone too high in price yet. Next up, just got this in today actually, just something I found online, Blood of Ghastly Horror. This is a trauma DVD. I don't know a lot about it. There's a short blurb on the back, but it's the first time watch for me, so it sounds cool and it looks cool, so if nothing else it'll look good on the shelf. Next up is Bloodthirst. This is one of those low-budget films that was made in the Philippines, so if you're familiar with any of like the Blood Island movies, you kind of know what you're getting yourself in for with this one. I enjoyed it. There's virtually no blood in it, probably why they call it Bloodthirst, to be honest. So quite a tame affair, but entertaining enough. I thought it was alright. Next up, I need to thank Bushman Blue for this. If you're not familiar with Bushman Blue, check out his channel. Me and him did a trade this month. I sent him a Hammer Horror box set and he sent me the limited edition Cujo Blu-ray from Eureka. So really happy with this Bushman Blue, thank you for that. It's still sealed. I probably will open it at some point, but until I watch the movie I'll probably keep it sealed. But that's another really nice set that I got this month, so really happy with that. Next up from Arrow is The Dead Center. I wasn't keen on this film. I didn't enjoy it. I couldn't get into it. It sounded interesting in terms of the plot, but yeah, I really didn't enjoy this one. Disappointed with that, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Next up, just got this one in from Vinegar Syndrome, is Dominique. I'm looking forward to checking this one out. Never seen it before. Sounds really good. From what I can make out, it's about a husband who pushes his wealthy wife to the brink and she ends up killing herself. And then he is then haunted by this ghost who may or may not be his wife. I think that's the crux of the story. But like I say, I've not seen it, but looking forward to checking this one out. Next one I got is Hide and Seek. Never seen this one before. Watched it the other night. It's okay. It's a little bit slow, but it does have a bit of a twist ending towards the end, and the movie starts to pick up. I picked it up mainly just to see Robert De Niro in it. He doesn't really do these kind of sort of spooky supernatural movies, and to be honest, it's not his finest hour. He's probably a little bit wasted in this, but it's okay. It's decent enough. Next up, I got the Blue Underground Blu-ray for House by the Cemetery. This is the one that comes with the holographic cover. Really nice edition. It's my first one of these kind of Blue Underground limited editions that I've bought, and I'm really happy with it. The film itself, House by the Cemetery, I'm not a huge fan of this one. I think it's actually one of Fulce's weaker movies. There's some good moments in it, but for me it just doesn't hold up to anything like The Beyond or Zombie Flesh Eaters or City of the Living Dead. But like I say, really nice Blu-ray with the holographic cover. Right, next up is a movie. This is a full-on mainstream Hollywood film which I've never owned, and it's kind of annoyed me over the years that I don't own it. And it's Interview with the Vampire. So I watched this many years ago when I was a teenager, and I didn't like it. And I think at the time it was probably a little bit too lavish for my tastes. I'm very much into like trashy B movies and sleazy horror films. So when I watched this, it was maybe a bit above my taste, if you will. But I've always wanted to check it out again. And now that I'm a bit more older and like my film tastes have maybe matured, I think I might enjoy it a bit more. And it's just good to finally have this one in the collection. So that's Interview with the Vampire. Next up is 1 Hour Photo, which I saw a long time ago and just found this Blu-ray and picked it up. Really creepy performance by Robin Williams. He's absolutely amazing in this as a creepy guy who works at a photo processing booth, and he sort of latches onto this family and stalks them and things like that. But yeah, really sort of creepy, unsettling movie, and as I say, a real kind of wonderful performance from Robin Williams. So nice to finally just get that on Blu-ray. Next one I got is Short Night of Glass Dolls. This one I couldn't get into. It's a Giallo film, and for me, Giallo films, I either enjoy them or I find them really hard to get into and then kind of lose track of what's going on and who's who. And this, unfortunately, was one of those kind of movies. And I really tried, but I just lost interest. And after a while, the plot got away from me. In terms of Giallos, sort of like Dario Argento, I absolutely love his movies. But a lot of them, I do tend to lose interest in, and this was one of them. But glad to have finally seen it. It's been one that I've been curious about for a while. Next up, picked up Southern Comfort, which this is a film that I think is genuinely really underrated, and I think rather underrated in the horror community, because it's a real creepy movie. Kind of dressed up to look like a war film, but it ain't a war film. It's a really unsettling, very sort of tense and frightening movie about a bunch of soldiers from the National Guard who they go on a training exercise in the Louisiana swamps, and they're using sort of blank rounds in the guns so they can shoot, but obviously there's no bullets. And one of the soldiers is a bit of a hothead, and he jokingly shoots at the native Cajun residents of the swamp, who take that as an act of war, and they proceed to kind of stalk and hunt down the soldiers who kind of get lost and isolated in the Louisiana swamps. But it's a really frightening film, and they make great use of the location and like the misty, hazy swamp environment and the sense of sort of being lost and that kind of thing. Great cast as well. A lot of great actors in this one. And like I say, just a real unsettling movie. So yeah, one that I think more people should check out. Next up, the one I just saw for cheap and wanted to get for the collection is the Tommyknockers. So I gave this one a watch. It's a long film, 3 hours long. Not a great movie. There's a lot of things about it that I think are quite weak. But I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the 90s feel to it. And I enjoyed like the TV movie style. It was kind of a bit like a comfort watch, if you will. So a lot of things that were pretty lame, but enjoyable nonetheless. I did think it was okay. And then finally the last movie from Vinegar Syndrome. Just got this in today. And it's Zombie Island Massacre. Another movie that I've never seen. Wanted to pick it up when I saw that Vinegar Syndrome had put it out. So found this one on eBay. I was lucky enough to get the Vinegar Syndrome slipcase as well. So I'll be checking this out in the next few days. So that's everything that I got for April. Let me know what you think of that, guys. Let me know if there's anything that's particularly good or that's particularly bad, or any that you enjoyed watching. So yeah, thank you for watching that, and stay tuned for more videos.